What's up, y'all? We're live. Hold on, my dad let me.
Get my message about working Thursday.
Yep, work on Thursday, definitely. What's up, y'all? Oh, I gotta sit on a book because I'm using a nail salon chair. Anywho, my name's Keith. Welcome back to the show, Readings by Candlelight. I'm your host, Keith, your man of letters, here to bring you knowledge, information, and a little bit of entertainment. 2 nights in a row. Stoked. Stoked to be back. We're almost done. We only have a few chapters left. If you're new to the show, crack open a cold one, pour yourself a glass of wine, maybe some liquor on the rocks, roll up some oregano, take your shoes off, stay a while, get comfy, you guys. Get comfy. It's going to be not a long night, but a good night. So, with that being said, if you're new and you're not used to how we do things around here, we usually start the video about 10 minutes in to give people a chance to filter through. You know, some people are getting home from work, getting out of the shower, trying to run to the computer, seeing the notification that we're having another reading by Candlelight. And, yeah. Oh, that is a bummer. Yeah, but I hope you guys are all having a good night. I'm definitely having a good day. I'm having a great day, actually. Got a lot of stuff done today. A lot of really cool stuff done today. My frankincense garden, or my frankincense orchard, I should say, is coming full force. I have 3 Boswellia sacras, the sacred frankincense, and I have like 15 serratas, the Indian frankincense. I'm fucking stoked. It's a good day. It's a good day. But let me pull up your guys' comments so that I can see where y'all are at. Guys' comments so that hello, Jenny P. Nice to see you. Anessa, Emily, hello. Beauty Queen. Oh, Beauty Queen. You know, everyone say hello to Beauty Queen. Uh-oh. Malia. That's it. Nicole. Hello, Nicole. It's my sister's name. Lovely. My email is... typing it in right now. Garcia808 at gmail.com. That's my email. If you guys need to get a hold of me after hours, that's my email. My Instagram is ManofLettersOfficial. That's pretty much it. Those are pretty much the only 2 platforms that I'm consistently consistent on. Um, 33. I thought what was 33? Anywho, what up, y'all? First things first. I need to do like some sort of giveaway at the beginning of every reading. Isn't that what all the big YouTubers do? They do the free giveaways and shit. Like, whoever answers a riddle gets a free candle. And this thing carved a hole in itself, which means good luck about lighting this bitch. Oh no, we're good. What up? What up? Okay, my phone is saying that the video is buffering, so let me know if we're having problems with reception. Oh, this will be the last play. Damn, you guys, I wrote a fucking banger of a song today. A straight up banger. My album release is, I'm just promoting random shit. It's a readings by Candlelight, you guys. We'll stick to that. We'll stick to that. Beauty Queen, I didn't get a chance to check your message, but tonight we're doing the law of causation, Kybalion, which is a fairly simple topic. It's just the law of cause and effect, and the law basically states that there's no such thing as chance, there's no such thing as coincidence. Chance is just ignorance to the law by those who don't know any better. And the original cause was the original thought of creation of life. Thought, cause. The goal here, you guys, the key is we want to learn how to be the cause instead of the effect, right? You can't avoid cause and effect, but you can choose to be, on the side that's doing the causation and not the side that's being the effect, because most people are the effect. Most people are sheep. Most people take in information and don't actually give out enough information. They're only seeing half the battle. So, my favorite analogy for this chapter is the boat. So, actually, in fact, there's a lot of good stuff in this chapter. I'm trying to recall it as we go. But something important from this chapter, from the law of cause and effect, is to understand that. Remember how there's two sides to the coin? There's a cause and effect. So let's take a person, for example. Let's try to use a very practical example here. Someone has bad habits that they picked up as a child. Everyone has bad habits that they pick up as a child. We pick up good habits, we pick up bad ones. So people would say, I am who I am because of the past, which is only half true, because the past doesn't actually create the present moment. Not if we change the lens out. Switch the lens out, switch the aperture, buy a nicer lens. And you'll see that the present is actually creating the past. The past isn't creating the present. The example that I use is a boat. So you see a boat going through the ocean, right? Actually, let's say you're on the boat. So you're standing on the back of the boat and you look out over the back. What do you see? You see the wake, right? The boat is moving through the ocean and it's creating a wake behind it. So the wake is extending out from the boat. The boat is a present moment. You are on that boat traveling through space and time. And the wake that you create is created in the now. It's created in the present moment. It's not the wake isn't creating the movement of the boat. The movement of the boat is creating the wake. And that's what you guys have to understand. Because, again, all truths are but half truths. So, yes, you are who you are because you're a culmination of things that happened in the past. But when those things were happening in the past, they were happening in the now. Kind of confusing, I know, but there is only ever now. And now is only ever creating things from moment to moment. law of cause and effect. You have a cause and it leads to an effect. Cause leads to an effect, leads to a cause, leads to an effect. Ad infinitum. Why that's important is because it allows you a chance to get out of the narrative that you are who you are because of things that are outside of your control. Because you are, right? You are who you are because of things that are outside of your control. But you are also not. You again are also creating the past with every moment that goes by. Every time you make a new friend, you've changed the past. Every time you pick up a new book, you've changed the past. Every time you learn to create a new habit, you've changed the past because the present is always creating the past. And we'll see some nuts and bolts in the chapter. Um, cool ways of looking at it, or you get into a little more philosophically speaking on the topic. But this chapter is actually really helpful. It's really helpful. Or at least I hope it is. I hope it's really helpful. Beauty Queen, you keep putting messages and then retracting the messages. What are you trying to say? Oh no. Can you guys hear me? Leave me a note because Jenny Pete says you can't hear what I'm saying. What's up, you guys? Is the channel not playing right now? Can you guys hear what I'm saying right now? Question mark. Someone let me know what minute we're at, so I should start this or not. I'm trying to aim for around 10 minutes. I'm not sure how many people are actually, whoa, shit, are in the chat room yet. Oh, dope. Sorry, you guys. I thought. Nothing more appealing than blowing on hot coals. I don't know what it is. Come on. Oh, the new song. You guys will hear it. I'll play it for you guys. Don't worry. Are you leaking again, you bastard? No, I'll definitely play it for you guys. Maybe I'll come on the live tomorrow and play the new song for you. But until then, y'all will have to just be patient. Okay. Almost ready. If there's anyone that's new on the channel, don't mind the slightly unprofessionalness of the video. We're just gangster, and that's how we roll over here. Causation. I'm kind of feeling some lo-fi. I'm kind of feeling lo-fi tonight. Just kind of feelsy, smooth. No lyrics. I don't want to hear lyrics. I just want to you know what I mean? I want to hear someone's voice right now. Just want to feel shit. You dig? Let's hope to God that these guys don't slam us with commercials again. Today's video is brought to you by Copal Resin, Lo-Fi Hip Hop Radio. All you beautiful ass people holding it down on the other side of the screen. What are we drinking? Simple Times Pilsner. What up? Some oregano grown by the homie. And yours truly, Man of Letters. Happy to be here for you guys. You guys ready? Jazzy jazz jazz, what up? How you do? I miss you. We went to school, playing in the halls. I'm pulling up the text for you guys. The Kybalion index. Causation. Sacred texts. All right. Wonderful. You guys ready? Should we do this? I don't know how long the video's been going for, but it seems like it's been going long enough, right? Haha, thanks, Jenny Pete. Appreciate that. I've learned a lot, too. Actually, every time I do one of these readings by Candlelight, I find I learn some new shit. So, you're not the only one. Oh, you know what's pretty dope, you guys? Lo-fi. So check this out. Type in Lo-Fi Hip Hop Radio. Lo-Fi Hip Hop Radio. So if you guys type this in, there's actually a live stream on YouTube that just plays dope lo-fi 24/7. And you guys can actually listen to it at the same time as I listen to it. They play the same songs, so we'll all hear the same thing. Though it might be a couple, like a second off because you hear me through the live, so it might distract you, but it's worth a shot. I don't know. Or you can just listen to it coming through your earlobes. Da, 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 da. Ooh, ooh. Ba, 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 ba. Do 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 da 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 da. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. Hey. Hey. Ooh, da 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 da. And a 1 and a 2 and a 1. Oh shit, my dad left me a message. Let me just check this real quick. My dad's over. Dad, you know I'm on live right now. Yeah, Dad, the music is on Apple Pay. And I think you have to pay for it. I don't know. I've never used Apple Pay. I've used Spotify. So I think it's on there. By the way, you guys, my band's songs are on Spotify, Apple Pay, YouTube. Album is dropping on the 17th of this month. Sit tight. I'll promote that when the time is right. But right now, we're going to learn some shit. You going to learn tonight. Are you going to learn tonight? So here we go. Yes, Malia. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, Homo erectus, everything in between. Andromedians and Arcturians and Pleiadians and Nordics and Chupacabras and Bigfoots and Sasquatches and Yetis. All you kooky ass, kooky, kookster, fucking witches and wizards and sorcerers and brujas and brujos and whatever the Asians have for fucking magic medicine men. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Keith, your man of letters, here to bring you knowledge, information, and entertainment as per usual. Thanks for being here. If you haven't already, go grab yourself a glass of wine, a Brukowski, some liquor on the rocks, just a glass of water. Toast to you guys for being here. Thank you mucho. We are reading from the Kybalion tonight by the Three Initiates, 1908. Tonight we are on chapter 12, the law of causation. It's not too long. And we will crack into it. Chapter 12, causation. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. The great sixth Hermetic principle, the principle of cause and effect, embodies the truth that law pervades the universe, that nothing happens by chance. That chance is merely a term indicating cause existing but not recognized or perceived. That phenomena is continuous, without break or exception. The principle of cause and effect underlies all scientific thought, ancient and modern, and was enunciated by the Hermetic teachers in the earliest days. While many and varied disputes between the many schools of thought have since arisen, these disputes have been principally upon the details of the operations of the principle, still more often upon the meaning of certain words. The underlying principle of cause and effect has been accepted as correct by practically all the thinkers of the world worthy of the name. To think otherwise would be to take the phenomena of the universe from the domain of law and order and to relegate it to the control of the imaginary something which men have called chance. A little consideration will show anyone that there is in reality no such thing as pure chance. Webster defines the word chance as follows: a supposed agent or mode of activity other than a force, law, or purpose. The operation or activity of such agent, the supposed effect of such an agent, a happening, fortuity, causality, etc. But a little consideration will show you that there can be no such agent as chance, in the sense of something outside of law, something outside of cause and effect. How could there be a something acting in the phenomenal universe independent of the laws, order, and continuity of the latter? Such a something would be entirely independent of the orderly trend of the universe, and therefore superior to it. We can imagine nothing outside of the all being outside of the law, and that only because the all is the law in itself. There is no room in the universe for something outside of and independent of law. The existence of such a something would render all natural laws ineffective and would plunge the universe into chaotic disorder and lawlessness. A careful examination will show that what we call chance is merely an expression relating to obscure causes, causes that we cannot perceive, causes that we cannot understand. The word chance is derived from a word meaning to fall, as the falling of dice. The idea being that the fall of the dice and many other happenings are merely a happening, unrelated to any cause. And this is the sense in which the term is generally employed, but when the matter is closely examined, it is seen that there is no chance whatsoever about the fall of dice. Each time a die falls and displays a certain number, it obeys a law as infallible as that which governs the revolution of planets. Back of the fall of the die are causes, or chains of causes, running back further than the mind can follow. The position of the die in the box, the amount of muscular energy expended in the throw, the condition of the table, etc. All are causes, the effect of which may be seen. But by back of these seen causes, there are chains of unseen preceding causes, all of which had a bearing upon the number of the die which fell uppermost. If a die be cast a great number of times, it will be found that the numbers shown will be about equal. That is, there will be an equal number of 1, of 2, etc., coming uppermost. Toss a penny in the air, and it may come down as either heads or tails. But make a sufficient number of tosses, and the heads and tails will about even up. This is the operation of the law of average. But both the average and the single toss come under the law of cause and effect. And if we were to examine into the preceding causes, it would be clearly seen that it was simply impossible for the die to fall any other way than it did, under the same circumstances and at the same time. Given the same causes, the same results will follow. There is always a cause and a because to every event. Nothing ever happens without a cause, or rather a chain of causes. So far, this chapter has been excessively repetitive. I noticed that this text can sometimes be that way. The past 10 minutes of reading could be summed up into this: there is no effect without a cause, and there's no such thing as chance. And the only time something seems like it's chance is when you just don't have enough information to know where the fucking thing is coming from. But the more information we gather on something, the more we realize, oh, this wasn't chance. This happened because of that reason. No such thing as chance. That's all we've been saying so far. So if you're lost, Don't worry, you haven't missed much. I wish. Ooh, that wasn't good. I wish I had a torch for these coals. Um. Okay. Let me actually just. Damn it. I think I lost my spot. Yo, I forgot about the oregano. Benita Bala. Bienvenidos. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for stopping by. And to be fair, the calming vibe is because we got a dope ass squad in here. So, everyone in the room, feel free to just say you're welcome because we're all creating this shit together. Laura Klinger, nice to see you again. It's been a while. Take your shoes off. We're going to continue. Okay. Some confusion has arisen in the minds of persons considering this principle from the fact that they were unable to explain how one thing could cause another thing. That is, be the creator of the second thing. As a matter of fact, no thing ever causes or creates another thing. Cause and effect deals merely with events. An event is that which comes, arrives, or happens as a result or consequence of some preceding event. No event creates another event, but it is merely a preceding link in the great orderly chain of events flowing from the creative energy of the all. There is a continuity between all events precedent, consequent, and subsequent. There is a relation existing between everything that has gone before and everything that follows. A stone is dislodged from a mountainside and crashes through a roof of a cottage in the valley below. At first sight, we regard this as a chance effect, but when we examine the matter, we find a great chain of causes behind it. In the first place, there was the rain which softened the earth supporting the stone, and which allowed it to fall. Then back of that was the influence of the sun, other rains, etc., which gradually disintegrated the piece of rock from a larger piece. Then there were the causes which led to the formation of the mountains, its upheaval by convulsion of nature, and so on ad infinitum. Then we might follow up the causes behind the rain. Then we might consider the existence of the roof. In short, we would soon find ourselves involved in a mesh of cause and effect, from which we would soon strive to extricate ourselves. It's being a little too fancy with the writing, but it is 1908. This is how they rolled back then. But basically, he's just being sassy, saying that sometimes there are so many causes to an effect that we just don't care to understand it. When it really comes down to the nitty gritty, we're just like, fuck it, chance. It's like, no, it wasn't. Like, people are just like, well, fuck. Sometimes bad things happen. What can you do? It's like, you can do a fucking lot about bad things happening. You can do more good things to make sure the bad things don't happen. Like, I understand taking something bad and transmuting it into something good, but it's much easier to just produce something good in the first place and then make something even better, instead of having to fix mistakes and turn them into something good. But that's just me. Did I ruin this candle? Might have. No, we're good. Uh-oh. Da 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 da. Where were we? Damn it, I lost myself. Okay, here we go. Just as a man has 2 parents, and 4 grandparents, and 8 grandparents. Oh, I'm sorry, 8 great grandparents, and 16 great great grandparents, and so on until when, say, 40 generations are calculated, the numbers of ancestors run into many millions. So it is with the number of causes behind even the most trifling event or phenomena, such as the passage of a tiny speck of soot before your eye. It's not an easy matter to trace the bit of soot back to the early period of the world's history when it formed a part of a massive tree trunk, which was afterward converted into coal, and so on until the speck of soot is now soot. It now passes before your vision on its way to other adventures. And a mighty chain of events, causes, and effects brought it to its present condition, and the later is but one of the chain of events which will go to produce other events hundreds of years from now. One of the series of events arising from the tiny bit of soot was the writing of these lines, which caused the typesetter to perform certain work, the proofreader to do likewise, and which will arouse certain thoughts in your mind and that of others, which in turn will affect others, and so on and on and on beyond the ability of man to think further, and all from the passage of a tiny bit of soot, all of which shows the relativity and association of things, and the further fact that there is no great, there is no small in the mind that causeth all. Stop. Stop to think for a moment. If a certain man had not met a certain maid away back in the dim period of the Stone Age, you, who are now reading these lines, would not be here now. And if, perhaps, the same couple had failed to meet, we who now write these lines would not now be here. And the very act of writing on your part and the act of writing on our part and the act of reading on yours will affect not only the respective lives of yourself and ourselves, but will also have a direct or indirect effect upon many other people now living and who will live in all the ages to come. Every thought we think, every act we perform has its direct and indirect results which fit into the great chain of cause and effect. We do not wish, this is important, we do not wish to enter into a consideration of free will or determinism in this work for various reasons. Among the many reasons is the principal one that neither side of the controversy is entirely right. In fact, both sides are partially right, according to the Hermetic teachings. The principle of polarity shows that both are but half-truths, the opposing poles of truth. The teaching are that a man may be both free and yet bound by necessity, depending upon the meaning of the terms and the height of truth from which the matter is examined. Remember, because the further you get from truth, the more complex things get, the more variations of the same truth you have. So depending upon where you're looking at the scale, it depends upon how much determinism or free will that is in question. We carry on. This is a nice tune. This is a tasty ass tune right here. We're gonna have to burn a little bit to this one. Who took my goddamn lighter? The hell? And we continue. The majority of people are more or less the slaves of heredity, environment, etc., and manifest very little freedom. They are swayed by the opinions, customs, and thoughts of the outside world and also by their emotions, feelings, moods, etc. They manifest no mastery worthy of the name. They indignantly repudiate this assertion, saying, "Why, I am certainly free to act and do as I please. I do just what I want to do." But they fail to explain whence arise the want to and as I please. What makes them want to do one thing in preference to another? What makes them please to do this and not to do that? Is there no because to their pleasing and wanting? The master can change these pleases and wants into others at the opposing end of the mental pole. He is able to will instead of to will because some feeling, mood, emotion, or environmental suggestion arouses a tendency or desire within him to do so. The majority of people are carried along like the falling stone, obedient to the environment, obedient to outside influences and internal moods, your emotions, your desires, not to speak of the desires and wills of others stronger than themselves. Heredity, environment, suggestion, all these things carrying them along without resistance on their part or the exercise of the will. Moved like the pawns on the checkerboard of life, they play their parts and are laid aside after the game is over. But the masters, y'all, you and I, the masters, knowing the rules of the game, rise above the plane of material life and placing themselves in touch with the higher powers of their nature, dominate their own minds, dominate their own moods, emotions. They dominate their character traits. They dominate their qualities. They dominate their own polarity, as well as the environment surrounding them, and thus become movers in the game. Instead of pawns, causes instead of effects, the masters do not escape the causation of the higher planes, but fall in with the higher laws, and thus master circumstances on the lower plane. They thus form a conscious part of the law instead of being mere blind instruments. While they serve on the higher planes, they rule on the material world. Damn, I'll have to run that one back one more time. We're going to run that back one more again. The masters do not escape the causation of higher planes, but fall in law, fall in line with the higher laws, and thus master circumstances on the lower plane. They thus form a conscious part of the law instead of being mere blind instruments, because while they serve on the higher planes, they rule on the material. This is exceedingly important, you guys. This is again where the spiritual folk get it wrong. They get it fucking wrong every single time, you guys. You heard it here first. You don't escape the laws of this reality. It's not like you see all the videos, how to get to 5D, and we're gonna transcend polarity and it's all gonna be one. Get the fuck out of here. You guys, there are an infinite amount of planes. Go Google some shit. Go Google quantum physics explains 12 dimensions, right? Science is getting to the same agreement as spiritual folk that there are other dimensions existing at all times simultaneously with us. Shit's fucking crazy. But every dimension, higher or lower, follow the same rules. If you go to 5D, there's going to be polarity. There's going to be opposites in 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the infinite amount of dimensions after that we probably just don't have instruments sensitive enough yet to detect. That doesn't mean they're not there. Think about ultraviolet rays, UV rays, X-rays, gamma rays, radio waves. We can't see these fucking things, but they exist all around us. It wasn't until we invented a type of machinery that could see them for us, and then we figured out, oh shit, there's other types of rays doing the same thing, right? You look at the color red. It has a certain frequency, energy. When that frequency rises high enough, it leaves colors altogether. It goes from red to orange to yellow, green, blue, violet, and then it ascends color altogether, and then it goes, I believe, towards gamma rays, extremely high frequencies. It changes out of being a color at all. This is what our consciousness do. When people are talking about, oh, we're going to go to 5D and it's all going to be one and opposites aren't going to exist. Sorry, they are going to exist. The only time we're going to be all one, where opposites don't exist, is when we get sucked back into the all or God, whatever that thing is, whatever name you want to give it. Though we should try not to give it a name because that just makes things confusing, and it's a paradox to give that thing a name, because to give it a name means we have to define it, and to define it means we have to put constraints around it, saying it is this thing, but it is not this thing, it is all things. So it is without definition, it is without a name, and to try to figure out what the fuck it is, it's like a mouse running in circles on a wheel, dying, tired, hungry, and pissed because it didn't get any booty because it was too busy trying to run around the goddamn wheel, and dies in the same place where it started. Don't be the mouse who didn't get any booty because he was too preoccupied with running around a goddamn wheel. It's not our job to figure out what the all is, what God is. It is our jobs to learn who the fuck we are, how we operate, learn the laws of our universe so that we can become the chess piece. Almost fucked that up. So that we can become the chess player instead of the chess piece. And if we do ever become a chess piece, we can consciously decide that this law of cause and effect is just one of those ways, right? It's the law of cause and effect is one of the 7 ways where we go, forget about what God is and learn how the universe operates. One of the ways the universe operates, something called law and effect, or cause and effect, that there's no such thing as chance. That we have a choice. We can be the cause or we can be the effect. Right? 2 different sides of the same coin. They're both the same thing. They're both half truths, but we have a choice to place our awareness in one or the other. And if, again, I'm going to reel this in so it makes sense on a fucking day-to-day basis, so you can actually make use of this law, is to rewrite the stories in your mind that say, I am who I am because of my past, right? Because that's being an effect instead of a cause. Right, so you change the mindset of I am who I am because of my past, and you change it to I create the past. I am not a byproduct of my past. My past is a byproduct of the now. Things that I do day to day, every minute of every day, every thought I have, every decision I make is intricately just webbing the structure and fabric of my entire existence. And when I look back on it, I look back 10 years from now, it's the 10 years from now was created again by me being in the moment, making decisions and putting myself in certain circumstances. And yes, our past does define us to a certain degree, but when we become conscious of this, when we go, oh, it doesn't have to be that way. Yes, my past has led me somewhere, but now that I am acting from my conscious mind, the cause and not the effect, I'm back behind the captain's wheel. Right? I'm looking over the back of the boat at the wake as it goes away, understanding that the present moment is creating the wake. The wake isn't creating the present moment. That's just much more useful. It's easier to quit habits that way. Excuses are reasonable. And even if your excuses are good ones, they still hold you back, right? If something happened to you when you were younger and you have an excuse for it, that excuse may be valid, and it may be like, yes, that puts you on a fucked up path. But as long as we hold on to that excuse as the end all, again, we allow the past to continually create the now, and that just doesn't work if you want to be a creator, unfortunately. If you want to be someone who instigates causes, then you can't be someone that's caught up with the past, especially when it's used as something to slow up your progress towards the future. It's different if you learn from the past, or because the past has patterns, right? We can look at the past and see, oh, these are patterns. But a pattern is something that repeats itself, and something can only repeat itself through time. If it only ever happened in the past, it's not something that is repetitive. Does that make sense? So the fact that it is a pattern means that it doesn't happen in the past. Again, it happens in the now. Getting super fucking unnecessarily deep, I feel. But I don't know. That's just, it's really important. For me, this chapter was super important. I will carry on now. Damn, Jenny Pete, that's spooky. I don't know how long ago you wrote that comment, but that's a spooky comment. Super spooky. We're almost done with this, you guys. We only have one more paragraph. So, but I'll read the last. So while they serve on the higher planes, they rule on the material plane. So, okay. But on higher and lower, the law is always in operation. There is no such thing as chance. The blind goddess has been abolished by reason. We are able to see now with eyes made clear by knowledge that everything is governed by universal law, that the infinite number of laws are but manifestation of the one great law, the law, which is the all. It is true indeed that not a sparrow drops unnoticed by the mind of the all, that even the hairs on our head are numbered, as the scriptures have said. There is nothing outside of law, nothing happens contrary to it. And yet do not make the mistake of supposing that man is but a blind automaton. Far from that. The Hermetic teachings are that man may use law to overcome laws, and that the higher will always prevail against the lower until at last he has reached the stage in which he seeks refuge in the all itself and laughs the phenomenal laws to scorn. Are you able to grasp the meaning of this? The higher will always prevail against the lower until at last He has reached the stage in which he seeks refuge in the law itself and laughs the phenomenal laws to scorn. I said, are you able to grasp the inner meaning of this? Damn, taco sound bomb as fuck right now. This song sounds like something out of Zelda. Whew. All right, you guys. We nailed it. Excuse me. Thanks, you guys, for being here. We stuck it out. We nailed it. We nailed it. So, how you guys doing out there? Shoot me a what up if you're still alive. Also, while we're all here, you guys go like this video so it'll bump up the algorithm. I know there's not many of us in here at the moment, but every bit does count. Oops. Oh no. It hit the wrong button. Fuck, I'm thinking about to head to the taco truck and get some tacos. Okay, I got the hunger like no one's business. What up, Jenny P? I have no idea what happened to the others. I think everyone just blocked out on good vibes. Or maybe it's too late for them. I really need to start running these lives earlier in the day because Dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Uh-oh, that might have been a bad look. Cool. So I'll take it as there are no more questions from the goon squad out there. And I'll just end the live. So unless any of you guys have something else to say, then thank you. Have a good night. Yeah, it's late as fuck over there, I'm sure. It's late over here, too. I'm not even sure what that question means. What's an atom? We're calling it. We gotta call it, you guys. No más preguntas porque tengo hambre. Tengo mucho hambre. I'll see you guys soon, alright? Have a good night. Thank you. Love you guys.